not in the way. Okay, so now the biggest thing with any extensions is we need to make sure that we're taking nice, clean partings, because there's nothing worse, and those of you guys that have worn extensions can attest to this, but there's nothing worse than having a hair from like up here being pulled into an extension down here because the partings just weren't all the way clean or precise. Okay, so I use a ton of these little metal clips to make sure that everything is secure. All right, so I'm going to have a Vanna again. Who wants to be? Oh, yeah, look at you. Every time. Okay, so like I said, I just use this on my pinky, just like this. Okay, and I just slide that right inside of my belt. Okay, so now with these, and this is going to be the same for the fusion extensions, you're going to take a square parting. It's about 1/4 of an inch wide by 1/4 of an inch tall, so just a nice square. When you take that section, it needs to be equal in weight to the piece of hair that you're putting into it, so to the extension. If it's not, then we want to take that section longer and make it like a rectangle, okay, not wider. Okay, we don't want it to be any wider than this bead once it's closed. Otherwise, it's being over-directed into the bead, and it puts tension on the scalp, can cause breakage, all sorts of things. Now, this is another reason why I really like this quick pick, because again, I don't have to hold my tail comb. I can use it to part the hair and work with it. So I just take a nice square section, okay, and I'm going to look at that compared to this. Okay. Okay. Look at it compared to it. Now, if it looks too thin, which that one is, then I'm going to add more to it. Okay? So I'm going to go longer. So I'm going to go down and make that section a rectangle. Okay? To increase the weight. Okay? So once I have that increased, and I've got the section that I want to work with, I want to make sure that I clean up any and all flyaway hair here, so I don't have any, again, strays. Then I take my loop tool and I open it just like this, okay? And I slide the hair inside of it, just like that. So it's just hanging on it, okay? Just like that. Then all I do is just take the bead and slide it off of the end of my loop tool. Okay, I want to do it up close to the scalp so that I'm not pushing the bead up the hair and back combing the hair as I slide it up. Okay, but just like that. Okay, now because this keeps clanging against the mannequin, I'm just going to put it right there so that it's not so noisy. But normally I just keep it on my finger. Okay, now the goal or the place where we want that bead to end up is at my part line, at the bottom of that section. Okay, we always want to do an off-base placement. So I want the top of the bead and the top of my extension to sit right there. I do not want them to sit in the center of the section. Okay? All right, so I slide it up. Then I'm going to take my extension. No, you're fine. I'm going to slide it up inside. Okay? Now I also don't want very much of that tip to be sticking out. Okay, so I take my tool, I grab a hold of the bead, and I slide it up to the bottom of that part line, and then I just pull my extension down till it disappears. Once it disappears inside my tool, I close it. Okay, that is the very maximum amount of the tip that we would want sticking out of the extension. Okay, anything more than that is going to be painful for the client when they lay down. It will entangle the hair around it and create problems. I don't even like to have that much, actually. I like to stick it out a little bit more than I even like.
In other words, your bead must flush with
Yes.
the end of your
Exactly.
eye.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so now I clamp it down on both sides. Okay, my bead is a circle. If I only press it in the center, the sides stay open. So I need to press it in the center, and then I need to flatten both edges too. Okay, and then I clamp it back in the center again. So I go across it a few times. Okay, but you can see, okay, so everybody come on up close so you can get a look at it. Okay, see where my bead is compared to the bottom of my part line? Okay, It sits clear down at the bottom. So it lays totally flat. There's no elevation. I can take that extension and I can pull it any direction, and it's not going to cause pain and pressure on that hair for that client.
They would
Okay.
feel right away if it was in the wrong place, right?
Yeah, in fact, I'll show you what it looks like if it's wrong. So we place them right next to each other. So once I have my